So, hi and welcome to another garden moment. I'm working on a new project here, and I wanted to talk about it because this was 4 garden beds that we've been slowly dismantling, and I've talked about that in previous videos. And actually these 2 here were a hugelkultur bed. So it means underneath, and this is why it's so much higher, underneath is like wood stumps and twigs and rubbish that are breaking down. It's really good nutrients. But at the time I didn't know about no-dig gardening. And so I've converted, but I can't move everything else I have to move all those stumps. So you kind of have to work with what you have. And this isn't beautiful. It's got a long ways to go, but I'm working on it. And I wanted to show you that sometimes done is better than perfect of not doing. That has been freedom for me. Done is better than perfect of not doing. So I've dismantled these 2 beds, took the wood, the metal out, everything that was holding everything together, all the rebar out holding stuff, and then rake that out and then put loads of dirt over it, a compost over it, and boxes, and breaking that out. And it's one step at a time. Now over here I had run out of stuff the last couple years, so I had to work with what I had, and all I had was wood chips. So, and they weren't deep enough. If they had been if it had been maybe a foot deep, I would have been able to, I wouldn't have the weeds. But because I didn't have anything, I had to work with what I had. This is what I have. Now I had a great successful strawberry harvest. I'm going to be editing those and doing those. So this is all going to get a remakeover. And I have had 2 successful garlics and potatoes out of here, even with limited supply. And again, sometimes done is the better of perfect of not doing it, waiting for perfect. But at the other hand, just slapping it together and never doing it as good as you could, there's a fine line and a happy balance of doing excellence too. You know, sometimes we get a new idea and we just jump and we don't think about it. So I have been trying to think how I want this bed to look, and you can overthink it again. Again, there's a fine line in figuring it all out. So I felt like this really needed to be soaked and wet down because the cardboard needs to break down a little quicker. And we really haven't had rain since I put this out, maybe once. So I'm just watering this. Then I'm going to wood chip some paths in here so I can walk better and not get my shoes all dirty all the time. And then I have a ton of product to put in here that's sitting on my shelves in the back room, in my lights that I've germinated. And if I don't get them in, I'm going to lose them. So sometimes you just have to go with the flow, and trust the Lord for the plan and the process. And my question for you today is this: are you sitting still long enough to hear what God's asking you to do? Is there anything God asked you to do that you're not doing? I sat with the Lord a day ago and just sat with the Lord trying to hear Him about, is there anything that I'm not doing you told me to do that I haven't been attaining, or that word's not just putting my hand to. And I didn't hear a lot at the time. And then I was reading in a book that I've been studying, and in it, the Lord's like, this is something I asked you to do that you didn't do. And I was like, because I got still, I could hear. Are you so busy trying to do everything that you're getting nothing done because you get lost and perfect, and you're not still long enough? Like turn the radio off, turn the podcast off, stop going everywhere and doing everything. And are you hearing God for what you need to be doing? Because if you're dissatisfied, you're probably not doing what God asked you to do. And if you're really super dissatisfied, there might be some things. It might be a simple step, but He's not going to give you A, B, C, D, and E if you didn't start with A first. He's not going to take you to the end of the equation if you didn't start with the first thing He asked you to do. So I just want to bless you. I share that with you today. You're more than welcome to comment. But I bless you now that you would hear God, that you would be still, and that you would know that done is better than perfect of not doing. But you also want to express it with a form of excellence to the best of your ability. I bless you. happy gardening in your life.